Vice Chair Scott, would you please read the statement to bring us back into open session?
Yes, Chair Swigert, I move that the record shows that the only items discussed in the closed meeting were those specifically cited in the motion to convene into the closed meeting and those lawfully exempted from statutory meeting requirements.
Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Lamonia. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Dr. Smith.
Motion carries with all board members voting yes.
Dr. Khan, do you have items resulting from closed session?
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you. The first item is a student matter. I recommend that student number 1 be expelled with services as discussed.
I'll entertain a motion for approval. So moved. Moved by Mr. Lamonia. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Poole. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Dr. Smith.
Motion carries with all board members voting yes.
Dr. Cotton, do you have additional items?
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you. I have a long list of administrative appointments I'm going to present for board approval this evening. First one is Mr. Joseph M. Davis from Deputy Director, United States Army, to Director of Purchasing, School Administration Building. His appointment with approval will be effective August 4th, 2025. The remainder appointments I'm recommending for a July 1st start, so I'll read that list as well. Mrs. Felicia A. Gray Frazier from Principal Treacle Elementary to Director of Elementary School Leadership, School Administration Building. Mr. Quentin E. Hicks from Principal Western Branch High School to Director of High School Leadership, School Administration Building. Dr. Barry C. Brown from Principal Deep Creek Central Elementary to Interim Assistant Director of Exceptional Learning, School Administration Building. Mr. John S. Close from Principal Jolliffe Middle to Principal Western Branch High. Mr. John Cavanaugh from Principal Deep Creek Middle to Principal of Jolliffe Middle. Mrs. Latricia T. Davenport from Assistant Principal Hickory Middle to Principal Deep Creek Middle School. Mr. Chad S. Foltz from Principal Butts Road Intermediate to Principal Hickory Middle. Mrs. Roxanne F. Colby from Assistant Principal Western Branch Intermediate to Principal Norfolk Highlands Primary. Mr. Douglas A. Connolly from Assistant Principal Indian River High to Principal Butts Road Intermediate. Mr. James S. Luter from Principal Hickory Elementary to Principal Deep Creek Central Elementary. Mrs. Ashley L. Nolette from Assistant Principal Camelot Elementary to Principal Hickory Elementary. Mrs. Catherine B. Parks from Assistant Principal Treacle Elementary to Principal of Treacle Elementary. Ms. Sharon L. Popson from Retired Principal Chesapeake Public Schools to Interim Principal Carver Intermediate. Dr. Kristen R. Rankin from Principal Norfolk Highlands Primary to Principal Greenbrier Intermediate. Ms. Michelle R. Brown from Special Education Teacher Greenbrier Intermediate to Assistant Principal Treacle Elementary. Dr. LaShelia L. Cheeks from Assistant Principal Deep Creek Middle to Assistant Principal Hickory Middle. Mrs. Catherine C. Clifford from Assistant Principal Western Branch Middle to Assistant Principal Hugo Owens Middle. Mrs. Paula K. DeBeek Myers from Teacher Grassfield High School to Assistant Principal Chesapeake Career Center. Mrs. Dolores M. Gabriel Ledbetter from Assistant Principal Chesapeake Center for Student Success to Assistant Principal Crestwood Middle. Ms. Rebecca D. Gray from Instructional Specialist Oscar Smith Middle to Assistant Principal Western Branch Middle. Ooh, I have another page. Mrs. Tricia G. Harris from Assistant Principal Norfolk Highlands Primary to Assistant Principal Carver Intermediate. Mrs. Cynthia E. Johnson from Assistant Principal Southeastern Elementary to Assistant Principal Western Branch Primary. Mr. Colin B. Jones from Assistant Principal Rena B. Wright Primary to Assistant Principal Carver Intermediate. Mrs. Rebecca M. Muir from Title I Instructional Specialist Truett Intermediate to Assistant Principal Butts Road Primary. Mr. Anthony H. Otter from Assistant Principal Thurgood Marshall Elementary to Assistant Principal Oscar Smith Middle. Mrs. Jean Marie Park from Assistant Principal Western Branch Primary to Assistant Principal Southeastern Elementary. Mrs. Elizabeth W. Phelps from Administrative Specialist Grassfield Elementary to Assistant Principal Camelot Elementary. Mr. Thomas C. Smith from Assistant Principal Chesapeake Career Center to Assistant Principal Deep Creek Middle. Dr. Karen A. Sweeney from Assistant Principal Butts Road Primary to Assistant Principal Butts Road Intermediate. Mr. Mark T. Swift from Assistant Principal Oscar Smith Middle to Assistant Principal Indian River High. Ms. Dina N. Taylor from Assistant Principal Carver Intermediate to Assistant Principal, Western Branch Intermediate, and Ms. Terry J. Wirtz from Principal, Chesapeake Center for Student Success, to Assistant Principal, Deep Creek High. Madam Chair, I think that concludes my list of recommended appointments.
I'll entertain a motion for approval. Moved by Mr. McCormick. Is there a second? Seconded by Ms. Scott. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Dr. Smith.
Motion carries with all board members voting yes.
Next, I will entertain a motion in regards to the second student matter. Ms. Huddle?
In regards to the appeal of the superintendent's decision pursuant to School Board Policy 9-21 and in reference to Student 2, I move to support the recommendation of the superintendent.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Colon. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Dr. Smith.
Motion carries with all board members voting yes.
Okay. We will now move on to the invocation and to the Pledge of Allegiance. At this time, I'd like to call upon Pastor Sarah Locke from Hickory United Methodist to provide tonight's invocation. Afterward, I'll ask Kira Chow, a fifth grade student from Grassfield Elementary School, to lead us in the pledge. Please stand as you are able.
Gratitude for the gift of this day, for the community that gathers here, and for the shared responsibility to serve our students, families, and staff of our school district. We thank you for the educators, the administrators, all the support staff, volunteers who give so much of themselves to create safe and inspiring places to learn and grow. We thank you for the students, which are the heart of our schools. We thank you for their curiosity and their creativity and their resilience. And as we begin this meeting, we ask for your wisdom and guidance. Help us to lead with integrity and discernment. Give us patience to listen deeply and courage to speak truthfully and humility to collaborate with respect and openness. In our world often marked with division, may this meeting be a place of unity and purpose. May we remember that every decision made tonight touches lives, shapes classrooms, impacts families, and influences the future of our children and our city. Grant us strength to serve with justice, compassion, and hope. And when we grow weary, renew our spirits with the reminder of why we are here, to nurture potential, to build community, and to help every student thrive. Bless this work and this meeting and each person. We pray this in your Son's name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much to Pastor Locke and to Kira for being here with us tonight. We appreciate you and your families and your principal being here. Thank you. We are now moving on to awards and recognitions. The first item this evening are the VHSL Winter Chesapeake Champions. Dr. Smith.
Thank you, Chair Swigert. We are very excited tonight to recognize several Winter Chesapeake champions, and joining us at the podium is Mr. Paul Wilson. He's the Director of Student Support Services, and he will facilitate the awards for these students.
Good evening, Chair Swigert, Vice Chair Scott, members of the school board, Dr. Cotton, and members of the superintendent's cabinet. One of the great privileges of the Department of Student Support Services is celebrating the achievements and successes of the students and coaches in Chesapeake Public Schools. Tonight is one of those nights as we're here to recognize the VHSL 24-25 Fall All-State participants, state champions, and our SCA presidents and class presidents. It'll help if I get on the right page. There we go. We will recognize these students and sponsors and coaches in 3 different groups this evening. Let's begin with Group 1. Our first group includes the senior class presidents and their sponsors. leaders who have navigated the challenges of their final year while guiding their classmates with purpose and passion. These students chair meetings, collaborate with class sponsors, and advocate for their peers through action and voice. Students and sponsors, please take one step forward as your names are called. From Deep Creek High School, we have Jack Bardish. The sponsors are Heather Ely and Sandra Jeter. From Grassfield High School, we have Molly Casey. Sponsors are Shannon Anderson, Lee Mongold, and Brittany Pfeiffer. From Great Bridge High School, we have Hannah Farrell. The sponsors are Kimberly Downs and Samuel Varela. From Hickory High School, we have Victoria Newberry. The sponsors are Kim Evans and Eileen Mooring. From Indian River High School, we have Mundi Cabangella. And the sponsors are Marissa Bidlingmeyer and Nicole Garden. From Oscar Smith High School, we have Ayanna Coleman. And the sponsor is Britta Hallis. And from Western Branch High School, we have Tremaya Dotson. The sponsor is Courtney Steele. If there are any family members, staff, or supporters here tonight to celebrate these students and sponsors, please stand at this time to be recognized by the board. Congratulations to our class presidents and their sponsors. It is now time for you to move to the right to meet the members of the school board. Our next group is comprised of students who serve as SCA presidents at their respective high schools. These students exemplify student leadership by organizing activities, leading service projects, and leaving a lasting mark on their school communities. They don't shy away from challenges. They embrace them with vision and commitment and make their schools better places because of their work. Students and sponsors, please take one step forward as your names are called. From Deep Creek High School, we have Kennedy Blunt, and the sponsor is Kristen Lester. From Grassfield High School, we have Margaret Malloy. The sponsor is Alicia White. From Great Bridge High School, Harley Denson. The sponsors are Sarah Bunch and Catherine Cannon. From Hickory High School, Lindley McGregor. The sponsor is Leslie Sarver. From Indian River High School, we have Olivia Ocasio, and the sponsors are Debbie Farrell and Alex Stevenson. From Oscar Smith High School, Sophia Dortch. The sponsor is Britta Hallis. And from Western Branch High School, we have Amari Sykes. The sponsor is Rebecca Hinton. If there are any family members, staff, or supporters here tonight to celebrate these students and sponsors, please stand at this time to be recognized by the board. Congratulations to our SCA presidents and their sponsors. It is now time for you to move to the right to meet the members of the school board. Yeah, man. Right when I'm off camera. There you go. Our final group tonight includes students and coaches who placed first, second, or third at the VHSL state competition in speech and theater. Placing at the state level is an extraordinary achievement that speaks to their dedication, talent, and commitment. Students and coaches, please take one step forward as your names are called. In the speech category, in humorous dramatic interpretation, in first place from Class 5, we have Mariah Mallory from Indian River High School. And in third place, Class 6, we have Jillian Atkinson from Grassfield High School. In the humorous duo interpretation, in first place in Class 5, we have Lucia Rinaldi and Scarlett Rinaldi from Hickory High School. In impromptu, first place, Class 5, Adriana Rivera from Great Bridge High School. In poetry interpretation, third place, Class 5, Anaya Johnson, Indian River High School. In prose interpretation, first place, Class 5, Logan Riley from Indian River High School. In serious dramatic interpretation, first place, Class 5, Adrian Lancaster from Indian River High School. In storytelling, second place, Class 5, Paul Green, Indian River High School. The coaches of these speech students from Grassfield High School, Laura Emerson. From Great Bridge High School, Carrie Longworth. From Hickory High School, Mary Williams. And from Indian River High School, Dr. Yarden Shabazz. And in theater VHSL, we have the outstanding actor for Class 6, Rachel Davis from Grassfield High School. Her coach is Laura Aguadello. If there are any family members, staff, or supporters that are present to celebrate these students and coaches, please stand to be recognized by the board. Congratulations to our VHSL State Speech and Theater winners and their coaches. It is now time for you to move to the right to meet the members of the school board. Thank you, Madam Chair. This concludes my presentation for tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. The next item is the recognition of our all-state musicians. Dr. Smith, back to you.
Yes, the recognitions keep on coming. We are excited to welcome our musicians this evening. These awards will be presented by our Supervisor of Music, Mr. Orion Burke. I'd like to invite Mr. Burke to the podium. Thank you for being here.
Good evening, Chair Swigert, Vice Chair Scott, members of the school board, Dr. Cotton, and members of the superintendent's cabinet. My name is Orion Burke, and it is my honor to serve as the music supervisor for Chesapeake Public Schools. This evening, I am privileged to acknowledge the exceptional high school musicians selected through audition for the All Virginia Music Ensembles, specifically the VBODA All Virginia Band and Orchestra, the VCDA All Virginia Choir, and the VMEA Senior Honors Choir. I wish to recognize the exemplary dedication of our teachers whose unwavering support and encouragement of our students are vital to the success of our program. Would any Chesapeake music teachers in attendance please stand to be recognized? While this occasion celebrates the achievements of these outstanding high school students, the excellence of our music programs is the result of consistently superb instruction and dedication at all levels. I also extend my sincere gratitude to the principals in attendance for their steadfast support and presence here this evening. If you are a principal, please stand. Musicians, when I call your name, please take a step forward. Representing the VBODA All Virginia Band and Orchestra on trombone from Great Bridge High School, Elliot Hankin. On clarinet, Paige Sessoms, also from Great Bridge High School. From Grassfield High School on violin, Ethan Cheng. From Grassfield High School on French horn, Emma Opal. From Grassfield High School on bass trombone, Preston White. Representing the VCDA All Virginia Chorus and VMEA Senior Honors Choirs. From Great Bridge High School, Sarah Allen. From Great Bridge High School, Peter Muskevich. From Hickory High School, Allie McDonald. From Hickory High School, Mallory Marquet. From Hickory High School, Alana Sullivan. From Indian River High School, Unique Pugh. From Indian River High School, Asaya Williams. From Indian River High School, Nigel Romano. From Oscar Smith High School, Rima Ferrara. From Western Branch High School, Corey Burden. And from Western Branch High School, Daniel Clark. Lastly, none of this is possible without support from parents and guardians. At this time, I would like to ask all parents and guardians of these fine musicians to please stand to be recognized. Congratulations to all of these All Virginia musicians. It is now time to move to your right and meet the members of the school board.
The final item for recognition of students this evening are students from Crestwood Intermediate School. This one's going over to Ms. Edwards.
Thank you, Chair Swigert. I am so excited to present to you Mrs. Adrienne Sawyer, our science supervisor, and Ms. Tiffany Nichols, our science coordinator. And they're going to share with you just a snippet of some of the extraordinary science that we see happening. This is from Crestwood Intermediate. Tonight you're going to meet some of their students, teachers, and their administrators and learn about beats in space.
Good evening, Chairman Swigert, Vice Chairman Scott, members of the school board, Dr. Cotton, and members of the superintendent's cabinet. My name is Adrienne Sawyer, and I have been Chesapeake's elementary science supervisor for the past 19 years. I'm here this evening with Tiffany Nichols, our elementary science coordinator who joined our team nearly a year ago. Tonight I'm here to share an exciting project with you that occurred in one of our classrooms at Crestwood Intermediate School, where Dr. Maddie Gold, principal, and Ashley Parker, the assistant principal. Demonstrating impressive scientific inquiry, a team of fifth grade students designed an original experiment, the effect of microgravity on beetroot germination, that earned them a spot on the International Space Station. Their journey began with research into the potential benefits of beets for astronauts in space, leading them to carefully design an experiment to test germination in microgravity. The proposal, submitted at a national board at Kennedy Space Station, stood out among other entries in Virginia. While their experiment was being conducted by astronauts on the International Space Station, our students simultaneously conducted the same experiments on Earth. The students then analyzed the flown and Earth-based results at Crestwood, gaining invaluable experience with microgravity as their independent variable. We are extremely proud of their hard work and the thoroughness of their research, their planning and proposal development. Please take a look at some of the actual collaborative work.
To the International Space Station, carrying science, supplies, and the spirit of exploration.
Last spring, 5 fifth-grade science students from Crestwood Intermediate submitted a proposal to the highly competitive Student Spaceflight Experiments program.
We started back last year in Mr. Weaver's and Ms. Drury's class at Crestwood Intermediate School.
Their project, designed to investigate whether beet seeds can grow in microgravity, was selected to be conducted aboard the International Space Station.
So we chose beets just because all the good things we heard about them, like how they help with physical and mental health. Today, we got to pack the 2 mini labs.
And the mini lab is what the beet seeds are in. And we were packing it with the seeds and the cotton, while we were also packing our ground proof, which is the experiment that we had to do on land as the control to see the difference between what's in space and what's on the ground.
3, 2, 1, ignition, engines full power, and liftoff.
After the spacecraft's launch and docking, the astronauts began interacting with the experiments in space. When the mini-lab was returned to Earth, the team met to compare and assess the results.
These seeds came from the International Space Station.
There you go.
But this time we took out the results. We have 2 microscopes so that we can take pictures and see the seed in closer depth.
Today we are working on the seeds. We are looking for roots.
It looks like it has little hairs coming off of it. Looks weird.
At first we thought we did see roots, but we found out it was just cotton. Even if none of the beet seeds actually germinated, I would say yes, it was a success, because you really can't fail in science because you always learn what not to do and what to do next time. It was a really fun experiment. I'm glad our teacher entered us in it, because we wouldn't have had this opportunity without him.
Go SpaceX, go Falcon, go CRS. Vehicles pitching downrange, and we have liftoff.
Okay. Tonight it is my pleasure to introduce you to Jamison Beltane, Caleb Crook-Watts, Allison Hudgens, Layla Jeter, and Kelby Johnson from Ms. Drury's and Mr. Weaver's classes at Crestwood Intermediate. I asked them to join us along with Mr. Weaver and Mrs. Drury. We also have several of their family members in the audience who share our pride in their efforts, and we thank them for being here tonight. Thank you.
On behalf of the board, I just certainly want to echo and say congratulations again to all of these students and their coaches and their teachers. This is just some amazing stuff to watch, and it's very exciting. We will now move on to the hearing of citizens. During their allotted time, speakers should observe our rules of decorum and know that expressions of concerns and criticism on matters of school policy and operations is welcome. However, speakers must deliver their own remarks and may not play pre-recorded messages. Dr. Smith, are there citizens who have requested time to speak this evening?
Yes, we have 5 citizens requesting to speak.
Thank you. I want to thank those speakers who have signed up to address the board this evening. As a reminder, there are 2 ways that citizens can request time to speak at our meetings. You can call the clerk's office before 12 noon the day of the meeting, or sign up to speak prior to the start of the meeting in person. All in-person requests to speak must be submitted to the deputy clerk 5 minutes prior to the published meeting start time. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to address the board. Once your allotted time is over, we ask that you promptly exit the podium. You may choose to continue to sit in the boardroom if seats are available, but standing or sitting on the floor will not be permitted, and you may not block the exit doors. We would also like to ask that you refrain from any behavior that disrupts the meeting, including the use of profanity, applause, cheering, or jeering. Dr. Smith, please call the first speaker.
Yes, I'd like to invite speaker number 1 to the podium. Speakers are called in numerical order, and they're asked to state their name and city of residence before their remarks begin.
Hi, I'm Sharon Early, and I'm a Chesapeake resident, and I'm here this evening to speak on the behalf of Brenda Johnson's bid to be on the school board as the interim member. Mrs. Johnson has been an advocate for students and faculty, both on and off the board, for many years. It would be an easy transition for her to step into the position as she is knowledgeable in the workings of the board. I, as well as many Chesapeake residents, strongly endorse Mrs. Brenda Johnson for the open school board position. Thank you.
Speaker number 2, it's your turn at the podium. Please state your name and city of residence before you begin.
Good evening, members of the school board. I'm Debbie and staff. I'm Debbie Roundtree, and I do live in Chesapeake. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I'm here to voice my full support for Brenda Johnson as the ideal candidate to fill the interim school board seat. Brenda's not only a familiar face, but deeply respected and beloved presence across all of the Chesapeake schools. That's not an exaggeration. It's a fact affirmed by her recent recognition as Pride of the Peak, a title voted on by her peers within the school system. That kind of speaks a lot of volume. I've personally had the pleasure of visiting schools alongside Brenda through our Women's Chamber of Commerce initiatives. Time and again, I've witnessed the way she's received with open arms, gratitude, and sincere joy. Her passion for students and educators is not just evident, it's infectious. But beyond her presence in the community, what sets Brenda apart is her proven experience. She is no stranger to the board. She has served before and served well. This isn't a step she would be taking lightly or unfamiliar territory she'd have to learn. She's now ready to step in and serve with purpose from day to day. At a time when consistency and clarity matter most, Brenda offers both. We don't just need someone to fill the seat. We need someone who knows the seat. Brenda Johnson's that person. Brenda represents the good of our students in Chesapeake, and I can't think of anyone more deserving. Thank you very much. And I have to have a grandma moment. My granddaughter, Hannah Farrell, was president at Great Bridge High School, and she wasn't here tonight. Caught me off guard. I wondered how I could miss her, but she's playing softball tonight against Deep Creek. Thank you.
Speaker number 3, it's your turn at the podium. Please state your name and city of residence before you begin.
Good afternoon. I'm Tanya Gill. I live in the city of Chesapeake, and I'm also a business owner in the city of Chesapeake. I'd like to thank Dr. Cotton, the staff, as well as the school board for allowing me to speak on behalf of Brenda Johnson. and the interim position on the school board. I would call myself a new friend of Brenda Johnson. I know she's very well known in the community. I've known her for about 10 years. We met as part of our involvement with the women's division with the chamber. So I'm aware of some of the things that she has done prior to me knowing her, but since I've known her, I've had the opportunity to witness the work that she's done with the Women's Chamber Division, which is focused on giving back to the community and being involved in the community. Our club was able to recognize her last year as a Lifetime Achievement Award winner, and that is not something that we do lightly. We make sure that the person that's recognized is someone who's making a difference in the Chesapeake community. I also had the opportunity to know her when she had the Oscar Smith Middle School auditorium named after her. I don't know about you, but I've never known anybody to have anything named after them. So I was in awe of that. And then lastly, I had an opportunity to hear her name announced at the Chesapeake State of the Schools. And it was funny because the person sitting next to me, when they started announcing and talking about it, we looked at each other and we said, oh my God, that's Brenda Johnson. So I want to say, I know that she's passionate about Chesapeake Public Schools. She will do a great job in this interim position. And lastly, there is one more thing. I am very passionate, along with her, as well as the superintendent, when it comes to career and technology. I have the pleasure to serve on the CTE Advisory Board, and so I've seen firsthand her dedication when it comes to CTE. So I think you have a great person in Brenda, and I hope you will consider her for the interim position. Thank you.
Speaker number 4, it's your turn at the podium. Please state your name and city of residence before you begin.
Good evening, esteemed members of the board. My name is Ava Heath, and I reside in Chesapeake, Virginia. I am a freshman at Deep Creek High School and a member of the Science and Medicine Academy. I am here today to express my concerns regarding the availability of advanced courses and costs incurred for these courses, posing limitation and discouragement to students like myself with a profound determination and dedication to achieve my highest potential. Recently, at the end of March, I was given the Governor's Early College Scholars Agreement form and highly encouraged to acknowledge, sign, and return as soon as possible, just as I had signed this agreement upon my acceptance to SMA, which was my commitment to complete additional AP courses above the required AP credits for the Advanced Studies Diploma with SMA. I signed the form. I felt uneasy, though a surely different attitude and stance about the opportunity that I had previously been excited about and looked forward to prior. It quickly became apparent that my SMA peers also had significant reserves and concerns too. There were discussions amongst SMA class of 2028 on how difficult it would be to fulfill the Governor Early College Scholars Agreement. With our sophomore year course registration and scheduling experience fresh in our mind, and that many of us, including myself, are not registered for a single AP class next year, it's clear that our concerns are valid. The limited availability of AP courses in conjunction with prerequisites and required courses that must be selected, the scheduling process is frustrating. My SMA peers and I have discussed this in great length and detail. We determined that in order for us to have a chance at being an early scholar, we would need to take AP European History, which is a full-year class. Those of us in music soon realized that in order for us to take a full-year class, we would need to take a summer class to open a spot for the class in our schedule, or drop our respective music class, and what a harrowing predicament to be in. In order to complete summer classes, tuition costs of at least $300 per course would be required. However, there is no tuition or fees to repeat courses and obtain credit recovery with Chesapeake Public Schools, both in person at local school or virtually via CVA. This free of charge option applies to all students repeating classes and is not based on respective financial situation. However, students that succeed and simply need the summer months to complete courses they are unable to cram into their regular school year are subject to such steep tuition costs, limited fee reduction or assistance, if even qualified for, and no in-person opportunities for advanced learning. Also, let's not forget that AP exams have nearly risen in cost to $99. Myself, along with many other students, simply do not qualify for free or reduced tuition costs yet, are in a position to pay for the tuition required for summer courses. Music of all varieties was energetically encouraged for Academy students. I simply cannot fathom nor justify how I am unable to meet advanced course requirement, including those for the early scholar program, without removing course from my schedule. I genuinely appreciate the time permitted to bring forth these matters to you. I am truly optimistic for feasible and accessible solutions that can be implemented by our distinguished leaders that sit before me today. Thank you again, and I genuinely look forward to achieving my highest potential in our awesome city of Chesapeake. Thank you.
Speaker number 5, it's your turn at the podium. Please state your name and city of residence before you begin.
Good evening. My name is Jessica Meyer, and I'm here as a parent and just a parent from Chesapeake. Good evening, Chair Swigert, Vice Chair Scott, members of the board, Dr. Cotton, and members of the Superintendent's Cabinet. While my remarks would be better suited for the June 9th meeting, I'm not able to attend that meeting. My son, a senior from Hickory High School, has been selected to participate in the All-American D-Day Band in Normandy, France. This once-in-a-lifetime opportunity was only possible because of the superb music education that he received from the Hickory Band program and the support that Dr. Weingant has given the music programs there. Chesapeake Public Schools continues to prove why it deserved to be named one of the best communities for music education. Thank you for your dedication and commitment to music education. As you and every staff member and student of Chesapeake Public Schools knows, the end of the school year and graduation season are quickly approaching. Just 20 more school days for anyone keeping count. The seniors are eager to complete their classes, don their caps and gowns, and process into the Chartway Arena. The families are looking forward to graduation day with a mixture of joy and apprehension. For some, this will be the first baby of the family to graduate from the safety of high school into the world, and for others, it will be the last. I had the opportunity to attend one of the final ceremonies of last spring. I'm always impressed at how the central office staff works tirelessly over the 3 days of ceremonies to make sure that the correct ribbons are on the stage decorations. They make sure that the correct programs are handed to the families and that all the students get the correct diploma cover. They make sure that the band is seated and starts playing Pomp and Circumstance at just the right time. They do this to make each ceremony special for the graduates and families. They make sure everything is perfect. Last year, when all the introductions had been made and all eyes were focused on the stage for the student speakers, the principal's remarks, and most importantly, the names being read, I looked up toward the box where the dignitaries were seated. Imagine my surprise when it was empty. All of the elected officials and cabinet staff who had just been introduced had all but disappeared. Some trickled in and out. Some reappeared for a student's name or two to be called and then disappeared again. When the last notes of pomp and circumstance were sending the graduates into the world, only one person, Dr. Reverend Mercer, had stayed in the seats to hear every name called. This has been on my mind and on my heart for a year. Each and every one of our 3,098 seniors, as of the membership of 430 in Chesapeake Public Schools, deserves a captive audience. I understand that for many of you, graduation started at 4 p.m. on Monday, June 16th and ended on June 18th at about 6 o'clock. They're all very similar and can quickly become a long 10 hours and 30 minutes if they're all exactly 1 hour and a half. I want people leading my children's school district who are honored and humbled to celebrate a major milestone for the students that they have pledged to serve. For you, there are 7 ceremonies. For the graduates and their families, each ceremony is the first and the most important. I would like to remind you that people are watching. I was watching, and I was disappointed. While I may not be able to watch this year because I'll have tears of joy and pride, I'm sure someone else will be. I hope you don't disappoint them. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
This concludes our speakers for this evening.
Thank you for sharing your comments. Our practice is to receive information. However, we do not usually engage in dialogue, and that is our intent tonight. If appropriate and not already provided, someone from the superintendent's staff will evaluate your concern and provide a response. We will now move to consider the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion for approval. Moved by Ms. Scott. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Lamonia. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Dr. Smith.
Motion carries with all board members voting yes.
Now moving on to our information agenda. The only item this evening is our monthly financial report. Ms. Glod.
Thank you, Chair Swigert. We have included the interim financial reports for March and April 2025 in tonight's board meeting documents. Revenue and expenditures were within the expected ranges for each month. Total realized revenue for March was $53.6 million, which included $30 million from the state, $23.5 million from the city, and the remaining balance from other local revenues and the federal government. For April, total realized revenue increased to $57 million, with $31 million coming from the state, $23.5 million from the city, and additional funds from other local revenues and the federal government. Notably, federal revenues also included a receipt of $2.1 million in federal impact aid. Our final spring student enrollment was 39,545, an increase of 93 students compared to the ADM assumption of 39,452 used for budgeting the fiscal year 24-25 state operating revenues. The March enrollment positively impacts fiscal year 24-25 final revenue, as the final state revenue will be based on spring enrollments. During this evening's budget presentation, the board will be asked to take action on 3 items that affect fiscal year 24-25. First, we will recommend and request your approval for a one-time bonus payment of $750 to contracted employees as of May 15th. Further details will be provided in this evening's presentation. The next 2 items relate to our preparations for fiscal year-end close. As you are familiar, any revenue that exceeds the budget and any expenditure savings for the year will revert to the city. To allow CPS to utilize these funds, a request for reversion is required. The board will be asked later this evening to request the City Council to reappropriate any fiscal year 24-25 reversions back to the schools. The specific uses of these reversions will be identified and requested as a part of the fiscal year 26-27 budget development process. Additionally, Dr. Cotton will seek the board's approval for a budget transfer authority of $10 million. This transfer is necessary because several non-personnel line items have exceeded their budgets or are expected to do so before the fiscal year ends. Therefore, funds will need to be transferred between the categories. A complete accounting of these transfers will be provided to the board when the final financial report for fiscal year 24-25 is available. This completes my finance report for the evening. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Do we have any questions from the board before we move for a motion to approve? Ms. Scott, would you make a motion?
Yes. I move that the school board approve the updated proposed budget for fiscal year 2025-2026. I further move that the board approve the recommended bonus, authorized budget transfers of up to $10 million, and request that City Council reappropriate any fiscal year 2024-2025 reversions back to the division.
Excuse me, Madam Chair. We're going to do a presentation on that for a vote.
Am I in the wrong
This
place?
is just for information.
Yeah, we'll cover that in our budget presentation.
Yeah, you're ahead of the game. If you want to skip that, we could do that. But we have a presentation planned, and then I would appreciate the motion after that. Thank
We'll
you.
hold that thought. So seeing no questions, we'll now move to the action agenda. And you'll see why I messed that up. The only item is the final action on the fiscal year 25-26 proposed budgets. Over to you, Ms. Glod.
I'm sorry.
No, this is my fault.
Good evening, Chair Swigert, Vice Chair Scott, and school board members. Oops. I need the clicker. Sorry. Thank you. All right. Here we go. This evening's presentation provides an overview of the state and city budgets and their impact on the school board's proposed budget. We'll continue with requests for board action. Let's begin with the state and city budgets update. As shared in a previous school board meeting, Governor Youngkin submitted his proposed budget amendments to the General Assembly on March 25th. The General Assembly reconvened on April 2nd to consider those changes. During that session, lawmakers rejected many of the governor's amendments. On May 2nd, Governor Youngkin signed the final budget into law. While he approved the General Assembly's version, he exercised his line item veto authority to remove roughly $900 million in spending. These vetoes primarily targeted one-time capital improvement projects of public colleges and universities. The governor explained these cuts as a precaution against a possible economic downturn, pointing to expected reductions of federal workforce and overall federal spending. Fortunately, K-12 bills remained intact as presented in the conference budget. The next two slides provide a comparison of the final state budget to the governor's December budget, which is what our current proposed budget is built off. We'll start with the current fiscal year. The final state budget includes a one-time bonus payment calculated at $1,000 for each position funded under the state's SOQ. This includes both instructional and support roles. School divisions have flexibility in determining the bonus amount for each employee, allowing flexibility to make the most of the state allocation. Because our division staffs above the state-funded SOQ levels, and this is an unexpected expenditure happening at year end, the bonus amount per employee is recommended to be $750 and prorated based on the employee's FTE. To be eligible for the bonus, the employee must be a current contracted employee as of May 15th. The bonus will be paid out prior to June 1st. While we understand that some of our neighboring school districts will be providing a $1,000 bonus, Chesapeake employees will not only receive the $750 bonus in May, they will also receive the pay schedule transition supplement equivalent to 1 week's pay in fiscal year 25-26 if they elected the 12-month pay option. Now, let's look at the budget bill comparison for fiscal year 25-26. The first row outlines technical updates, including adjustments to English language learner data, sales tax revenue estimates, and ADM projections. Both budgets include technical updates. The second row highlights increased state support for special education included in the final budget. The third row is a very exciting change. The state's long-standing cap on support positions originally imposed during the Great Recession will be eliminated. Currently, the state funds 24 support positions per 1,000 students. The final budget increases this to 27.89 support positions per 1,000 students. Now, let's take a look at the city's proposed budget. The city provides their initial revenue share estimate to us in December, and we use it to build our proposed budget. Meanwhile, the city continues to develop their budget, which includes fine-tuning their revenue estimates. As a result of this process, our revenue share estimate has been increased by $51,422. Now, let's take a look at the impact of these changes to the board's fiscal year 25-26 proposed budget. The city and state adjustments increased the board's proposed operating revenue by approximately $10.4 million. The proposed budget is also updated with an additional $11.5 million with the one-time funds from fiscal year 23-24 reversion and actual over-budget revenues requested by the board and reappropriated by the city. With this additional revenue, the board's proposed operating budget is updated to approximately $691 million. And the updated total revenue of the operating, categorical, and special fund budgets for fiscal year 25-26 is $844.5 million. In addition to the operating budget changes, total revenue also includes changes to the athletic and cell tower funds with inclusion of one-time funds reappropriation. This slide provides a summary of Dr. Cotton's recommended priorities for the additional city and state revenues. Starting in the left-hand table, first row, we are pleased to recommend elementary common planning time to support structured planning time for elementary teachers, allowing for greater collaboration and more effective lesson planning. Next is an additional elementary resource deputy and a patrol vehicle. By adding this additional deputy, a dedicated resource deputy will be available at 2 of our elementary schools. As a reminder, there are currently 14 deputies shared by our 28 elementary schools. In the third row, additional administrative support is recommended for 5 of our schools based on need. Next, we have funding to support the hiring of 5 general classroom teachers as needed to help maintain optimal student-teacher ratios. The next row reflects additional funding to go towards the continued implementation of modern classroom projects. Second to last on the left side table is additional funding to support HR initiatives focused on improving recruitment and retention efforts. In the last row, we have an additional 1% compensation adjustment for teacher and unified staff to ensure we're offering competitive salaries and retaining our employees. This additional increase results in a 4% effective increase for teacher and unified staff and a $56,564 starting teacher salary. Turning to the table on the right, the first two rows are recommendations for school safety enhancements, which include security equipment and security foyers at elementary schools. Next, additional funding for school plans for further infrastructure support is recommended. And last on this list is a financial wellness program. This program will be a valuable tool available to our employees, supporting them in their personal finance management and long-term goals. To recap the planned use of one-time funds and the operating and special funds budgets, approximately $20.7 million is available for one-time use, with $8.3 million from the school's fiscal year 23-24 reversion and nearly $12.4 million from the city's fiscal year 23-24 actual over budget revenues. Please note that this excludes the one-time funds planned to support the CIP. One-time funds will be used to support the pay schedule transition supplement, turf fields and track upgrades, and a new school bus routing solution. The funds will also be used on the remaining items listed here to support needed assets and maintenance throughout the division. Before proceeding to requests for board action, we are happy to address any questions at this time.
I almost said Ms. Dean. Ms. Walker.
Thank you. Just two quick questions. So there was a line item around the extra resource deputy. I guess it's a resource deputy and car, but I just want to be clear. These are the deputies that come from the sheriff's department, correct?
From the sheriff's office,
And
that's
the
correct.
city pays for their cars to begin with, don't they?
We have to pay for their vehicle.
But does it say anything about like Chesapeake Public Schools on the car? I just want to make sure I'm understanding. This is a standard car that they drive regardless.
Their job is to support the elementary schools. So
Sure, but if
using
they
the-
weren't supporting the school, they'd still have a job at the sheriff's department, correct?
That I don't know.
Correct.
Yes and no. I mean, they are pulling from, these are additional positions that are being added to the sheriff's department, but they are recruiting from within the sheriff's department to fill those positions, because not just anybody could be a sheriff deputy in an elementary school. They have to be trained. So as a part of our agreement, we do purchase the vehicles for them, and that's, they last for a long time, but they have to have a vehicle in order to travel from different schools and so forth. So that's a part of the cost. It's kind of a one-time upfront startup cost, but then, of course, they have the vehicle for several years.
Okay. I find that odd, but okay. I'm not arguing with you. The second question I had on the elementary restrooms, is that just renovations to restrooms, or is that anything specific?
Yeah, renovations. We're working on school, am I correct, Ms. Tutts, renovations on several bathrooms?
Yes, sir, particularly those that are in kindergarten classrooms and first grade classrooms. Quite honestly, we haven't touched them for a number of years in some of our older buildings, so we're refreshing those.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have any additional questions from the board? Seeing none at this time, I will entertain a motion for approval from Ms. Scott. Not yet?
1 second, yeah.
All right.
Dr. Cotton is going to go over
Thank
the
you.
request for
I like where you're going, though.
approval.
I really do.
We do.
So on the slide, if we can put it up on the screen, we have several things. And Madam Chair, members of the board, if you want to pull these out and look at these separately or do them together, we are asking for approval of the recommended bonus. You heard we're looking at $750 because, again, as you all know, the state does not provide funding for the full 1,000 for all of our employees. But as a reminder, our employees will be getting the transition pay after July 1st. So we're a little unique compared to our neighbors. The other is the budget transfer, which we do at the end of every year. In this case, we're asking for authority up to $10 million. And of course, again, this is a yearly process that we do to close out our books. We're requesting City Council reappropriate any of our 24-25 reversions or savings from this school year. I will be bringing back a recommendation to the board for your approval for specific items that we want to include in that reversion, but we just want to say that we want those funds back because we will have a use for them. As you know, we have many needs for one-time funds that we'll be presenting at a later time. The big one is the adopted budget. You know, I presented to you priorities during the work session. We thought that we would get somewhere south of the amount that we're presenting tonight. The good news is, if you remember, the board members provided me your priorities based on that list. Thankfully, we're getting all of the funds, best case scenario. So we would like to do all of those priorities. The biggest one that you all fully supported was the teacher planning time. We're hoping that all elementary classroom teachers will have designated planning time each day, which is huge for our elementary schools. Among other things, we have many other items listed there that are extremely important, and we would like to ask for board approval, whether you feel comfortable doing it as a whole group or separately. And Madam Chair, I'll leave it to you and the Vice Chair to decide, and the rest of the board to decide on how to proceed with that. Thank you.
I'm prepared to entertain the motion for approval as a group unless someone stipulates that things need to be broken apart. Do we have any? Seeing none? Are we sure? Ms. Scott, I will entertain a motion for approval.
Sure. I move that the school board approve the updated proposed budget for fiscal year 2025-2026. I further move that the board approve the recommended bonus, authorize budget transfers of up to $10 million, and request that City Council reappropriate any fiscal year 2024-2025 reversions back to the division.
Motion made by Ms. Scott. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Poole. Is there any additional discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Dr. Smith.
Motion carries with all board members voting yes.
Thank you. We will now move on to the superintendent's report. Dr. Cotton.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. One announcement: as a reminder, in observance of Memorial Day holiday, schools and offices will be closed on Monday, May 26th. With that, each year as we inch closer and closer to the end of the school year, there was always so much for us to highlight and celebrate. I'm excited to be able to share some of the incredible opportunities, activities, and accomplishments with you this evening. We recently celebrated the champions of our Chesapeake Middle School League spring sports season. Over the past 2 weeks, championships were decided in field hockey, girls volleyball, and boys soccer. Oscar Smith Middle School won the championship in boys track. Great Bridge Middle School captured the titles in field hockey and girls track, and Hickory Middle took home the championship in both girls volleyball and boys soccer. Congratulations on your successful seasons, and thank you to all of our coaches, trainers, and staff that made this season possible. While our student athletes were celebrating their on-the-field accomplishments, our 24-25 retirees had the opportunity to celebrate their dedicated service to Chesapeake Public Schools, 2 of which are sitting here this evening on the dais, much to my dismay. On May 8th, I had the honor to join them for a ceremony and reception at Grassfield High School. This year, these employees collectively represent more than 4,000 years of service to our school district. That service has been defined by commitment, excellence, innovation, and passion, and I hope you'll join me in congratulating them on a job well done. Take a look at some of the highlights from that night.
Thank you.
No way you retired. You just got here.
Thank you. Oh, we're not doing that yet.
There you go, right there. Perfect.
It is my pleasure to present our 2025 retirees. I'm excited to recognize everyone's dedicated full-time years of service with Chesapeake Schools.
feel like clapping for you two. But anyway, as you know, Dr. Miller and Mrs. Edwards are leaving us. Only a couple board meetings, right? Left for both of you. But who's counting? All right. From May 5th to the 9th, we celebrated Teacher Appreciation Week, and teachers and staff were celebrated in various manners across the district. Through different events and celebrations, it was awesome to see all of the different ways that our schools showed their appreciation for their teachers. From snack bars to flower deliveries, the creativity shown by our schools was sure to have made our district's teachers feel appreciated. We also hosted our annual digital thank you campaign. We received over 2,000 messages of appreciation to our teachers from students, staff, and community members. Thank you to the Department of Communications for organizing that effort, and thank you to everyone who took time out of their week to celebrate our teachers. May is full of celebrations for our staff. On May 7th, we honored our dedicated school nurses and clinic assistants for the incredibly important role they play in helping maintain a healthy and safe school and work environment. Join us to celebrate our Nurse of the Year, Kathy Rice from Treacle Elementary, our Clinic Assistant of the Year, Samara Larison from Great Bridge High, and our Rookie of the Year, Samantha Haywood, who serves as a float nurse. Congratulations. On May 7th, the Chesapeake Council PTA also hosted their annual awards dinner at Oscar Smith High School to honor and celebrate the amazing PTA units in our district for their achievements throughout the 24-25 school year. Many of our schools, staff members, and PTAs were honored for their efforts, including Western Branch High School Principal, Mr. Quentin Hicks, who was honored as the 2025 CCPTA Administrator of the Year and 2025 Virginia PTA Power Partner of the Year. Thank you to the Oscar Smith High School, the Oscar Smith Orchestra, and Chesapeake Council PTA for hosting this celebration of our wonderful PTAs. Congratulations to all of the honorees, and thank you for all the hard work that you do in contributing to our district's success. By the looks of Principal Mr. Craig Daniels' face, the new playground at Western Branch Intermediate is also a huge success. Recently, the Bruins celebrated the ribbon-cutting ceremony of their new playground area and were able to enjoy their new equipment. Teachers and students alike went wild as Mr. Daniel and a few others helped cut the ribbon officially to open the new playground. From the looks of it, it seems that everyone was thrilled about the new space, and I can't wait to hear about all of the fun times they are having over at Western Branch. Of course, I heard the other night the principal was the first one down the slide, so just like to point that out. In our district, we often celebrate the opening of new spaces, but sometimes we have the opportunity to celebrate old spaces too. Over at Deep Creek High School, the Hornets recently dedicated their baseball field in honor of former teacher and baseball coach, Mr. Wes Bud Swisher. Mr. Swisher was a dedicated member of the Deep Creek High School community, serving the school for over 30 years. In a ceremony to officially dedicate the Deep Creek High School baseball field in his memory, members of the Swisher family and several former players came together to honor the former coach. Thank you to Deep Creek High School and the Deep Creek community for all of your efforts in recognizing Coach Swisher's impact. To close tonight, I'd like to thank all of the school and community members who came out to our final Superintendent's Community Engagement Council meeting of the school year. Our final Engagement Council was an opportunity to collaborate and share ideas focusing on our enhanced district-wide safety measures and the new Empower 2030 strategic plan. The insights and dedication from our community partners proved invaluable, and we're grateful for the continued engagement from everyone involved. Once again, thank you to everyone who attended and participated, with special thanks to Train, who sponsored the series of events this school year. Madam Chair, members of the board, this completes my spotlight for this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Cotton. Last on our agenda this evening is board member items. Does any board member have an item to bring before the group? Seeing none, I do want to take just a moment to wish a very happy birthday to Ms. Stutz, who we hope will celebrate grandly tomorrow. And also to board member John McCormick, who will celebrate a little bit later this month. We hope that you both have a wonderful birthday. And with that, we will call this meeting adjourned.
On the unique nature of